Hello and welcome to the Women in Federal Law Enforcement Virtual Career Fair, sponsored by FedAgent. FedAgent is a free newsletter for federal law enforcement and homeland security professionals. Every Thursday in your inbox, FedAgent provides top news stories on issues impacting the federal law enforcement community, case law updates on important legal developments for federal law enforcement, and a wide array of other content, including takedowns covering major investigations and partner columns from organizations across the federal community. One of our longtime partners is Women in Federal Law Enforcement, and this year we're at the WIFLE conference in Phoenix, Arizona, going booth to booth, talking to all of the career fair participants about their job opportunities. We'll be talking to a wide array of federal law enforcement agencies about the different job openings they have, different opportunities and ways to apply, and the skills they're looking for in their applicants. We're about to get started going booth to booth. Stay tuned for more. I am here with the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, or as we call it, FLETC. Can you guys tell us a little bit about FLETC?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Mazzoni. I'm the Division Chief for the Investigative Operations Division at FLETC. So the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, or FLETC, like you said, trains those who protect our homeland. So most federal law enforcement agencies train their basic training and advanced training at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. We are stationed in Glencoe, Georgia, Brunswick, Georgia. We also have a FLETC in Charleston, South Carolina, in Cheltenham, Maryland, and in Artesia, New Mexico, where most of our training is held, and we have several locations internationally as well. Would you like to speak a little bit about the positions that we have?
So some of the positions that we have is for the training support, which is our instructor positions. We also have the support side, which is your HR positions, your accountants, your contract specialists and things, along with our Pathways program, which is our recent grads. That is anybody who's graduated within the last 2 years. Unless you're a veteran, then you have 6 years. We have students who are currently in college and come work for us. We have virtual internships, non-paid, and we put them out throughout the management with all of our TDPs, our training delivery points, which is Charleston, Cheltenham, Glencoe, and etc.
Thank you. And for individuals who may be students right now, can you tell me about any of the college internship programs that you offer?
So one of the college internships that we're getting ready to offer is our green shirt phase, which is students who apply for, like they're applying for a regular federal position. It is non-paid. They come on site, they work with our instructors, they train with our students who are becoming law enforcement officers for some of our components that you see here today, and they will go into the classroom and they will go out in the field and train. And then when they're done, they get their internship credited back to their college, and then they can look for future employment with us or one of our component agencies.
Great. Thank you so much. It was great to learn more about FLETC. We appreciate all the work that you do, and thanks for joining us today. Thanks. Next up, I have us here with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement with my guest from ICE. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. And can you tell me a little bit about a day in the life of an ICE employee and what your agency work is like?
Okay, so ICE is the largest law enforcement, second largest law enforcement agency federally. We have multiple directorates within ICE that includes Homeland Security investigations and enforcement and removal operations. Those are our law enforcement functions. And then all of the positions that support that law enforcement function and mission are a multitude of things. Cybersecurity, mission support, attorneys. We have Office of the Principal Legal Advisor, technical enforcement officers. There's all kinds of opportunities within ICE, like I said, that support the law enforcement mission, and that is to prevent transnational crime.
Thank you so much. It's so interesting, the really unique range of work that you have there. What do you think are some of the most unique aspects of ICE?
So a couple of the most unique aspects are the fact that we enforce over 400 federal statutes, and our international footprint is actually one of the things that makes us the most unique. We have over 70 offices approximately worldwide. So again, all of those support functions that we talked about support the law enforcement mission not only domestically but internationally.
And ICE has ICE Homeland Security Investigations, but you have other components as well. Can you tell me about the different components at ICE?
Sure, like I was saying earlier, so Homeland Security Investigations is the criminal investigative arm of ICE. Enforcement removal operations is the deportation function, immigration enforcement function. And then, like I said, then all of the other directorates that are within ICE. OPLA is one of the other hugest. It's our legal support, where we have a bunch of attorneys to support that mission, plus cybersecurity, cybercrime enforcement, technical enforcement, again, all of those other support functions to help further the mission.
Yeah, very interesting. ICE is not just your typical law enforcement agency. There are so many other different components that make ICE what it is and all really support that law enforcement mission.
Yeah, there's definitely whatever job that you're interested in, whatever your skill set is, there is likely an opportunity for you within ICE. Never boring. Definitely not a boring job. I encourage everyone to look, ice.gov.
ICE.gov, never boring. You heard it here first. Thank you so much for joining us today. Of course. Next, we are here with the Department of Defense Office of the Inspector General. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, tell me a little bit about your agency.
So we are the Defense Criminal Investigative Service under the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General. We are the investigative arm of the DoD OIG, as we lovingly call it. In addition to 81011s or special agents with the investigative service, we also have auditors, evaluators, and inspections with the myriad of support staff and analysts.
Great, thank you. And can you tell me what you would say makes working at the DoD OIG unique?
We are unique in that even though we are an OIG and we work with the military criminal investigative organizations such as Army CID, Air Force OSI, NCIS, Coast Guard Investigative Service, our bread and butter, as we call it, is white collar fraud, and that includes public corruption, product substitution, procurement fraud, healthcare fraud, cyber crimes, and counterproliferation investigations.
Thank you. And what would you say are some of the skills you're looking for in applicants?
So we are looking for a number of what we call hard and soft skills. We are looking for of course, a broad range of expertise. That could be accounting, that could be criminal justice, that could be engineers, that could be people with communication degrees. We have people with liberal arts degrees, so we cover a wide range of expertise. We are looking for people, of course, you need to be physically fit, mentally fit, and ready day one to do the job. We do a lot of writing and report writing as we work across agencies, not to include Department of Justice and your local U.S. Attorney's Office.
Great. Thank you so much. Very interesting stuff going on at the DoD OIG. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I am here with the NASA Office of the Inspector General. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Can you tell us a little bit about the work of the NASA OIG?
Yes, so the NASA Office of Inspector General is the only agency that puts rovers on Mars, people in space, and instruments in space.
That's incredible. And can you tell me a little bit? You're the first Office of the Inspector General that we're working with. What does the OIG do?
So the Office of Inspector General, much like the NASA Office of Inspector General, we conduct objective oversight, audits and investigations into NASA programs, NASA processes, NASA agreements, and we make sure that the money that we are getting from Congress is going directly where it's supposed to be, is used exactly for what it's used for, and we report independently to the administrator, to Congress, and to the American people.
Thank you so much. It's really the critical roles that OIG plays in all of our federal agencies. But can you tell me about the specific types of cases you investigate over at the NASA OIG?
Absolutely. So at NASA Office of Inspector General, we conduct objective and accurate investigations into fraud, waste, abuse, and cybercrime, into NASA's programs, NASA's agreements, NASA's contracts, NASA's projects, everything that's NASA.
Great. Thank you so much. It was great learning a little bit about the NASA OIG, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next up, we are here with Customs and Border Protection. My friends from CBP, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, of course.
Can you tell me a little bit about CBP?
Sure, no problem. We are America's first line of defense. So when someone is coming into the country, you're going to meet a CBP agent for the first time. We are, the very first government representative that anyone is going to meet.
And can you tell me a little bit about what you would say, as someone who works at CBP, makes your agency unique?
Definitely. I would say that the diversity of the mission definitely makes us unique. You may be following a group on the land border one day or catching some illegal narcotics the next day, maybe doing a rescue or interdicting a shipment of agriculture like roses for Valentine's Day. So every day is something new at CBP.
Wow, that's really interesting. And it sounds like there are so many different positions that you can work in. Can you tell me a little bit about the different types of positions? Border Patrol, Field Ops, Air and Marine?
Sure. So with U.S. Border Patrol, the frontline position is the Border Patrol agent, and we do currently have a hiring incentive for that position right now. There's up to a $10,000 cash award if you're willing to go to one of our hard-to-fill locations. But that agent is going to patrol the land border in between the ports of entry. For Air and Marine, we help enforce the land borders, but in the sky. So if Border Patrol needs any kind of air backup, we will provide that. Or we also patrol the oceans and seas in between those zones as well. And then for Office of Field Operations, I'll turn it over.
We have CBP officers who are at land borders, seaports, and airports, but they are ones that are uniformed like myself, but we also have others who have a similar uniform but don't necessarily wear a weapon, and they are agriculture specialists. So these are people who have possibly a biology degree, and they're able to basically intercept pests and diseases that may actually cause harm to our country and our crops here in the United States. But we also have our mission support staff who are backbone to the operations that we do every day, and without them we would not be able to do what we do and enforce the laws that we are responsible for enforcing. And so we have those that are not uniformed in those positions, and really the sky's the limit. The amount of opportunities that we have within CBP are just astronomical.
Well, the sky's the limit. You heard it here first. Check out CBP. Even if you don't have a background in law enforcement, you want to try some of these other positions or in this biology type work. Thank you so much for joining me today. We appreciate learning more about CBP.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I am here with the investigative arm of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Thank you so much for joining me today. Can you tell me a little bit about your agency and what it's like to work there?
Sure. So I'm with the Office of Investigations of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and we're the law enforcement arm of the commission. And essentially the NRC is responsible for regulating nuclear power plants and any handling of nuclear material. So the Office of Investigations comes in when there's allegations of wrongdoing at the power plants or with that handling of nuclear material. So that's essentially what we do.
And what would you say makes working at the NRC Office of Investigations unique?
Well, for us, we're kind of unlike other law enforcement agencies in the sense that we have kind of behind the scenes and backstage access to the nuclear power plants. So essentially during our investigations, we'll talk to witnesses and subjects at the power plants after we get an allegation of wrongdoing. And with that, we'll kind of go to the plant to see exactly where the wrongdoing occurred. So that's kind of unique to the NRC Office of Investigations that we have that access.
Yeah, really inside and behind the scenes access. Can you tell me about the kind of skills that you're looking for in an applicant?
So the Office of Investigation typically hires experienced investigators and special agents that have come from other agencies. And the reason they do that is because one of the main skills that we have is to interview a subject or a witness. So experienced investigators that might come from other agencies have been through countless interviews, and they already possess those skills to sit down and conduct a really good interview.
Great. Thank you so much. We appreciated learning about the NRC Office of Investigations, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Next up, I am here with the Drug Enforcement Administration, better known as the DEA, one of the most famous federal agencies. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Can you guys start off by just telling me a little bit about the DEA and what a day in the life is like for one of your agents?
Okay. Yeah, I can hold that. So the day in the life of a Drug Enforcement Administration agent can vary a lot. It's very busy. We're usually away from our desks doing enforcement. So it could be going out on the street, arresting someone who's selling drugs. We could be buying drugs and setting up a larger case against an organization. We do a lot of different things. Basically, it's exciting. We're outside of the office and hopefully making a difference in our community.
Thank you so much. And perhaps you could tell me a little bit about the special agent hiring process.
Yes, absolutely. So we are hiring. Our process tends to be a little bit longer. It can last up to 18 months or so. It does vary. Part of that is because we do ask a lot of the new applicants. So we have a PT test. It's a little rigorous, so prepare for that if you're planning to apply. After the PT, we have a written test. We have a panel interview. We have a polygraph, a medical exam, a background check. Am I missing anything? So, and part of the reason is background checks take a little bit of time, but so we do make sure we're getting some good people. So, if you're looking to get into it, apply now.
Thank you so much. And can you tell me a little bit about career options that may exist outside of being a special agent?
Sure. We currently are hiring intel research specialists, diversion investigators who investigate the pharmaceutical side of things. They make sure that our prescription drugs do not make it into our system illegally. And then we also have chemists and our administration jobs that you can find on DEA.gov.
DEA.gov. Thank you so much. And one last question for you. I know DEA is all over the country. What should applicants expect in terms of mobility and relocation requirements?
So part of the hiring process is that you sign a mobility agreement. So you are expected to move if it is something that the agency needs you to do. So if you're open and willing to move, we could be for you.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, while we may have a mobility agreement, oftentimes you get to go to some pretty amazing places and you often get to choose where you go or at least have some input. So we not only have offices around the country, we have offices around the world. So opportunities with DEA mean you could go foreign, you can go to places like Colombia, France, Asia, China, anywhere in the world that you can imagine there's drug trafficking happening, which is pretty much everywhere, we have a presence. So it's a really great opportunity if you're interested in international policy or anywhere in the country.
Great. Thank you so much. DEA.gov to learn more, right? Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I am here with the U.S. Capitol Police. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your agency?
Yes. Well, first, my name is Inspector Monique Moore. I'm with Capitol Police. My agency is a federal law enforcement agency in the DMV area. We consists of 2,300 sworn employees as well as 400 civilian employees. Our main mission is to protect and serve the members of Congress, the public, our staff, and any visitors that come on the Capitol complex.
Thank you. And can you guys tell me a little bit about what you would say makes working for the U.S. Capitol Police a unique experience?
Two reasons I think that makes Capitol Police a very unique organization is we're the only federal agency that actually protects one full branch of government, which is the legislative branch. The second unique thing is that Capitol Police is the highest paid agency in the DMV area. We have great benefits. One of the highlighted benefits that we have right now is our tuition, which is $80,000 per employee. And also, if you do come on as the Capitol Police, that $80,000 can be applied to your children's tuition as well. We also have full paid health benefits. If you're a federal law enforcement officer, currently one, we have a lateral program that you can come on where you get a $10,000 retention bonus just by joining the agency.
Wow, those are really some great benefits. This is awesome. Definitely have to check out U.S. Capitol Police. Now, for someone who's already working with U.S. Capitol Police, what type of specialized areas can they begin working with?
Great question. First, I'm Sergeant Tyrone Bond, and I serve our department in recruiting programs, serve as our recruiting programs manager. Now, everyone in our department, regardless of prior experience, you'll start out in our Uniform Services Bureau. You'll be doing typical day for officer in the Uniform Services Bureau, maybe security screening. You may be working one of our traffic posts or committee hearing, securing a committee hearing. That's a typical day. From there, that's when our department, it truly opens up. Now, we have one of our recruiting slogans here. I didn't come up with the slogan, so I can't take credit for it, but I think it's a great slogan. Lifetime of opportunities all under one roof. That statement, that is a true statement, because there's so many things you can do on our department once you transition from uniform. We have what's called our Dignitary Protection Division. What they do is they provide personal protection to our leadership positions, plainclothes positions. We have multiple positions in intelligence and investigations. We have a K-9 division, probably one of the larger K-9s in the country when you think about it. We have a CERT team, or that's our SWAT team, bomb squad, you name it, mountain bikes, motors. Just you think about all the resources we have, pretty much any resource that any other agency has in the country, we have the same resources to achieve the mission that Inspector Moore spoke of. One thing that I'm really proud to say is that all of our opportunities, they're all available to every officer on the department. So everyone will have the chance to compete for a position on our K-9 or our SWAT team, which is something that's really phenomenal and really stands out about our agency.
Great, thank you so much. And one last question for you. The U.S. Capitol Police also employs a large number of civilians. Can you tell us about some of the civilian job opportunities?
Sure. Like I noted earlier, we have 400 civilian employees. And first, I just want to say that without civilians on our department, they provide a huge support system for our sworn officers. So there are a critical entity, critical mission for us to have civilians on an department. So we really enjoy having civilians working for Capitol Police. So when I speak about civilians, it can range from your human resources all the way to informational systems. I'm just going to speak of the ones that kind of, well, like I said, every civilian position supports us, but the civilian positions that's more geared towards law enforcement fields. So we have the intelligence analyst positions. That just opened up. It used to be a sworn position, but we transferred that to a civilian position. Also, our crime scene search now. If you are in the forensic field within your career, you can come on Capitol Police and join us for the crime scene search position. We also have a command center operational specialist. That's basically where the heart of the department is. That position, you will really provide that support system to units out in the field, making sure they have the resources to do their job. And we also have a communication division where if you want to do dispatching, we have numerous positions that's available for that position as well. And we really depend on that position because that's the way that we communicate to officers out in the field. That's our lifeline, is our communication system. So like I said, there's variety. I'm just going to name a few. Another is our cybersecurity, physical security system, SSB. That's under our SSB division, which is our security. Security Services Bureau. That's the name of the SSB. There's so many acronyms in our department, so you kind of get tricked up on it. But so that particular bureau, that's where we handle our physical security part.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much. There really are just a lifetime of possibilities all under one roof. I love that slogan. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We appreciate the opportunity to highlight the great work at U.S. Capitol Police. I am now here with the Department of Veterans Affairs Office of the Inspector General. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your agency and what a day in the life is like for an OIG employee?
Sure. The Department of Veterans Affairs Office of Inspector General, we're responsible for providing meaningful independent oversight of our programs and our operations. Our special agents conduct both civil and criminal investigations of violations that impact our programs and operations. And on a typical day, our special agents could be assisting with a suspected crime occurring on one of our many VA campuses. We operate the largest integrated healthcare system in the country. We could also be conducting witness interviews for a beneficiary fraud investigation. And another area, we could be reviewing medical claims for a nationwide healthcare fraud investigation. I really think the diversity of the work that we do as far as the IG community is a big draw for a lot of people that are seeking positions with our agency.
That's so interesting. Now, as an OIG employee, what would you say makes your work unique?
What I would say is unique, besides the diversity and the work that we do, is the fact that we have investigative development divisions. I actually oversee our healthcare fraud division, which is a brand new investigative development division. We were created back in August of 2021. We're celebrating our year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we support our agents in conducting healthcare fraud investigation, as our name implies. We assist them by developing proactive initiatives regarding our healthcare programs, providing training on the different programs, fraud schemes that we see within the programs, fraud trends, also with investigative techniques. And then another very important part of our role is to help develop partnerships with external healthcare fraud investigation partners.
Thank you so much. That's very interesting. And you talked a lot about how the VA OIG obviously plays an incredible role in maintaining the security of our healthcare system. Does an applicant have to have a background in health or healthcare in order to work with the VA OIG?
Actually, they don't. It certainly would be of a benefit to them and for us, of course, but it's not a requirement. In my experience, actually having candidates with diverse backgrounds make for a more impactful OIG. And with that in mind, instead of focusing on specific areas of study or professional history, we're more focused on our agents having leadership ability, being great communicators, having great self-management skills, and also being technical experts in the work that we do.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And my final question for our VA Office of the Inspector General, what type of professional growth opportunities or development opportunities do you offer your employees?
Yes, we are very fortunate to have a very robust training division, and they offer both formal and informal professional development training opportunities for our staff. One of the things that have been very helpful for me in my career has always been mentorship. And we just started a brand new mentoring program, and I truly believe that that's very impactful for our agents to have that. It's one thing to go through the technical training, but to have a mentor that can provide that networking skills and that institutional knowledge is invaluable, and I'm glad to see that we're implementing that program.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good mentorships are absolutely critical. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate learning more about the VA OIG, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
We are here with the Environmental Protection Agency Office of Investigations, the law enforcement component of the EPA. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure.
Can you tell me a little bit about the type of work that goes on in this area of the EPA?
The Criminal Investigation Division has been around for 45 years. Our program's not huge. We only have about 200 staff, but we're spread all over the country, 30 different locations, including Puerto Rico. Our 160 criminal investigation agents span the gamut. They come to us from an enforcement criminal justice perspective, but a lot of them also have strong environmental backgrounds. Biologists, chemists, environmental studies, and we combine those sets of skills to have someone who can go out in the field at a major environmental disaster, who can work on enforcement issues at a company that are trying to pay to pollute, that really shouldn't be doing what they're doing. So there's a strong value set for most of our team that protecting the environment and the public is a big part of why they're on the job.
That's really interesting. It's definitely the intersection between protecting the environment and protecting the public and how those things are really related to each other. Can you tell me about what you would say makes working in this office at the EPA unique to other law enforcement jobs?
I would say one of the unique things about our agency and about our criminal investigation division is the number of women. The EPA has more women than men in the agency as a whole, which is very different from many federal agencies with a criminal arm. Our criminal investigation division, our top senior executive service and our high-level managers, 30% of those are women. Our staff, we were at 23% last year. This year we're at 24. So I think one of the things that means is our staff tend to be very collaborative. Most of our cases are worked in partnership with other agencies, ATF, DEA, Customs and Border Protection. So the ability to be able to work a case that we can't do on our own, that we have to network with other people to be successful, makes our agency a little bit unique.
Well, thank you so much. That's absolutely fascinating. You mentioned you have offices all over the country. Can you tell us a little bit more about the many locations that someone could work at?
So our offices tend to be located with their large population centers or large industry sectors where we find them frequent customers. So we have an office in Dallas where there are a lot of people. We have an office in Houston where there's a pretty big industry sector that we're involved with. But we also find that communities all around the country have these kinds of issues. So we have an office in Puerto Rico, we have one in Honolulu, we have offices all up and down the West Coast, Anchorage, Seattle, Portland. It's a way for our teams to be able to cover the geography of the country. We also do work not just with the population centers, but also with the important entities. Like we have strong partnerships with Native American tribes, so all through the Midwest and the West, we have partnerships in offices where they are located, where their headquarters are as well.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for this great overview. Welcome back. We're here for day 2 of the Women in Federal Law Enforcement 22nd Annual National Leadership Training. Today, we're going to be talking to a few more federal agencies about their job opportunities and going to be meeting some of the incredible sponsors and partners here supporting WIFLE. Welcome back. I am here with the National Association of Women Law Enforcement Executives. Hello, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for allowing us to have a moment to speak.
Of course. Can you tell me a little bit about NALI and the work that you do?
Yes, so NALI is the National Association of Women in Law Enforcement Executives. The key thing there is you don't have to be an executive to be a member. Everybody's welcome. We are looking for people that support women in law enforcement. That's our goal. We offer training. We offer a mentorship program. We'll come to you. We'll teach you. Mentorship has become a big key word for the success of officers, especially female officers. We need to lift them up. We need to make them feel like they're good and they're worthy. And a mentorship program has proved great success all over our different departments. We also are taking part of the 30 by 30 pledge. So this is something that came out of the New York City School of Law. We're actually a partner with them, NALI is, and we are challenging all agencies to try to have 30% of women in law enforcement by 2030.
Wow, that's an incredible goal.
Other countries around the world have been successful. Their numbers are very high. We can do it too. The good thing about this is we're looking at the agency head to say, I take this pledge. I believe in women. I believe in the value that they bring to law enforcement, and we're going to take the pledge. We're going to be that partner that says we're going to have 30% of women in law enforcement. And then it's kind of a roadmap for the departments. There's simple things to do, things that don't cost money. We ask you to take a look at your procedures, your policies, and also look at how you train, how you hire, and then how do you test for your department. Are they welcoming to women? If I was a 24-year-old woman looking for a police job right now, and you know you can get them anywhere, what would draw me to your department? Well, the 30 by 30 pledge gives you some really great ideas on how to get there. So NALI, nonprofit organization, if you are a lieutenant above, it's $100 a year. If not, it's $50. And then we do a conference once a year. We did one in Miami this year in April. 600 plus folks showed up, and we're going to be in Dallas next year. Our numbers are really increasing. We're becoming stronger, and it really proves the need to show that women are valued, women need to be supported, and NALI does.
That's incredible. And yes, mentorship is so important. We've been hearing a lot during sessions this week that having a strong, stable mentor to make women feel included, that they have someone to go to, is just absolutely critical. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you for letting us spotlight what we're doing, because we believe in it. We believe in women.
That's incredible. You heard it here right at WIFLE with NALI. Thank you so much, and we look forward to learning more about your organization. We are back with another WIFLE sponsor, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about Blue Cross Blue Shield Association and why you guys support WIFLE.
So we here at Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, we are a federal health employee program. And with WIFLE, we would love to go ahead and sponsor you guys because we know that women in health enforcement and everything, or law enforcement, need to go ahead and focus on their health as well to ensure that they are 100% ready for their responsibilities at their job.
Yeah, absolutely. When your health is, taken care of, when your physical, mental health is taken care of, you're really just able to go and do your job all that much better. Can you talk to me about some of the things that you guys offer federal employees?
Of course. So we here at the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, we have over 5.7 million federal employees in our plan. And that is because of our large network. We have one of the largest networks in health insurance. 95% of providers nationwide are in our network, along with 96% of hospitals nationwide as well. You can also carry your benefits overseas when you travel. So that's also a wonderful plus. So with our health insurance, we have 3 plans: FEP Blue Focus, our standard, and our basic option. So with FEP Blue Focus, that's for our healthier, younger membership that doesn't like to really go to the hospital or doctors or anything that often because they are in excellent health. We have our basic option members, and with that plan, it's a co-payment base, there's no deductible. With our standard plan, that allows you to jump in and out of network, but again, we have one of the largest networks, and also we have a very comprehensible prescription benefits with that plan. We also offer supplemental dental and vision to go with your health insurance plans as well. There's a high option and then a standard option with those plans. With the dental, you get 3 free annual cleanings with both of the plans. Then also braces, not just for your children, but for adults. And then the visions, we go ahead and offer with our high option new pair of frames and lenses every year. And then with the standard option, it's every other year, so depending on your needs.
That's awesome. You have a lot of options for the range of what federal employees can need. Thank you so much for filling us in today on some of the work going on at Blue Cross Blue Shield Association and how you guys support federal employees.
Thank you guys for hosting us. We are so happy to be here.
I am here with another WIFLE partner, CHDS. Can you guys tell me a little bit about your organization and the work that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. We are the Center for Homeland Defense and Security. We're based out of the Naval Postgraduate School out in beautiful Monterey, California. And we offer government-sponsored education to Homeland Security, emergency management professionals. Because of our grant through FEMA, all of our programs are free. Most of our students are going to be in fire, law enforcement, public health, emergency management, and DHS components on the federal level. And we've been around for about 20 years. And Dee's actually an alumna of our master's degree program. And we're just happy to be here giving exposure to these wonderful programs we've had for about 20 years now.
That's really awesome. Continuing education is so important, especially for law enforcement looking to advance their careers. Can you tell me about some of the courses that you offer, specifically for those looking to become leaders in the federal government?
Absolutely. So we're pretty unique because we have different programs for each phase of your career. We have an emergence program that is for people up and coming, and Dee's actually also a co-instructor of that emergence program. That's a 6-month program for people up and coming in their industry, usually about 3 to 10 years. So it's a lot of times it's the first time people have attended that kind of symposium and been around other people from different disciplines. We have the master's degree program. We target mid-level career for that one. That is a Master's of Arts in Security Studies from the Naval Postgraduate School. And then for our people who've made it to the top, we have the Executive Leaders Program, and that's a year-long program. And most of these programs are hybrid, but we do require some in-person requirements out in Monterey, California.
Wow, thank you so much. And Dee, as someone who has both participated in and instructed some of these courses, what would you say are some of the best takeaways of participating in this type of an educational program?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. I will first start with a master's degree program. Like Russell already said, it's an 18-month program. In that program, you go to Monterey 6 times and at 2-week intervals each time you go. In those times, you are partnered with people from all types of different backgrounds backgrounds. And so what I gained from that program, first of all, is a thesis that I was able to go and to do the research for something that was near and dear to my heart, and that was women in law enforcement and policies and practices and how we retain and recruit those same women. And so I did the thesis, but then also in the classroom structure, we are separated into groups sometimes, or we work individually, but to get those different backgrounds in the same room and talk about issues that affect all of our different agencies, and then put them all together and come up with solutions for those issues. And that's what we try to do in this class. Now, with the emergence program, Russell just told you those are people within about 3 to 10 years in their career, so they may not yet be leaders, but what we're doing is twofold. We are helping them to emerge into the leaders that they are going to be, and letting them know that you don't have to be a supervisor to be a leader. You can lead where you are. And so we teach some types of things that they can understand what you can contribute to your agency now, even in where you are, even as not a leader yet. And so I love this program because it allows our students to do what's called a change initiative. And so it's something that everyone's done it and seen it, something in their agency that they think should be better and they think they may have the answer for. What we do is walk you through a process to, first of all, identify what could be better, and then second of all, what steps, what policies, what research needs to be done to do it the right way to now try to implement a new policy within your agency, even at the 3 to 10 year mark. And that's an incredible opportunity for our younger people that are rising up into these emerging leaders.
This is a really great educational opportunity, not just for someone looking to develop their career, but also their own personal and professional skills. Thank you so much for joining me today and for being here at WIFLE. We appreciate the opportunity to learn more about the school.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And thank you for being great neighbors, by the way.
Of course. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. I am here with the Department of State's Diplomatic Security Service. We are going to be talking about some of the job opportunities and skills that an applicant should have. To start off, can you tell me a little bit about just the Diplomatic Security Service and what a day in the life is like for one of your employees?
Of course. Thank you so much for having us. The Diplomatic Security Service is the law enforcement branch of the United States Department of State. Within the Diplomatic Security Service, we have 4 main job categories. We have diplomatic security special agents, security engineering officers, security technical specialists, and diplomatic couriers. And speaking specifically about the diplomatic security special agents, our mission is broken into 3 main categories. We do investigations, we protect the Secretary of State and other foreign visiting dignitaries, and we do protection of our embassies and consulates overseas.
Wow, that's very interesting. It seems like you have a very unique mission. What would you say are some of the things that really makes working at DSS unique?
The main thing that sets us apart is we do spend a good majority of our careers living and working overseas. So if the idea of learning new languages and cultures and experiencing the world is exciting to you, then diplomatic security would be a great place for you.
Very interesting. And you also have career opportunities, so all over the world, as we discussed, 29 cities, 270 locations. What should employees expect in terms of mobility? Maybe they're interested in living abroad. What are really the expectations that they should have?
So we can spend 50% or more of our careers overseas. And the great thing about that is that we get to choose. We have some choice in where we get to go. And then the State Department is going to give us the tools that we need to be successful there. So they're going to put us through training to learn the language, to learn about the culture. Then they're going to move us and our families overseas. They're going to move our households. They're going to help us set up in the country. So all of the great benefits of living overseas you get, but not all of the hard parts, because the State Department is going to give you what you need for that.
That's great, and to have an employer who's able to support that move is so important. Now, you also have opportunities available in technical or engineering positions. Can you tell me more about those opportunities?
Sure. So our security engineering officers and our security technical specialists use their science and technology backgrounds to protect the people, the facilities, and the information around the world.
Wow, very interesting. And for those interested in working with DSS, where can they learn more? Can you specifically tell me about this talent network that I've heard so much about?
Of course. So if you go to our website at careers.state.gov, up on the upper right-hand side, you can click on Join Our Talent Network. And there you're going to be able to sign up for whatever career paths interest you. And then we can give you information about info sessions or webinars that we're hosting. And also you'll find out about when our vacancy announcements open. Also on our talent network, we have information on different student programs, internships, and fellowships. So it's a wealth of knowledge. Please check it out.
Definitely check it out if you're interested in a career with the Diplomatic Security Service. Hello and welcome back. I am here with another WIFLE sponsor, WPAA, and this is an extra special guest for me because WPAA is one of the longest and first sponsors of FedAgent as well. Thank you so much for supporting the federal community and, of course, for supporting FedAgent. Can you tell us a little bit about WPAA for those who may not be familiar with the organization?
Yeah, sure thing. So WPAA is a nonprofit organization that specializes in group term life insurance as well as short-term disability. And we've been in the insurance business since 1943, going on 79 years and strong. So yeah, if you have not heard of us yet, check us out. We're definitely, we're here to help.
And can you tell me a little bit more about the life insurance options that you offer federal employees?
Yeah, sure thing. So in terms of like life insurance, we offer a term life, which you could apply anytime, no open season. And basically, we start off as low as $25,000 in increments of $25,000 and offer up to $1.5 million in coverage without any salary caps. And everything that you need to know in terms of rates, everything before you apply is directly on the website. So check us out whenever you can.
Great, thank you. And what other resources does WPAA provide the federal community?
In terms of resources, we have some interesting stuff on our website regarding webinars, blog posts. We also offer a scholarship program for federal employees, children, adult children who are dependents. And yeah, there's plenty of stuff to check out on the website.
Definitely check out WPAA.org. Also be sure to read the Hear It From WPAA column in FedAgent and on the FedAgent website. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
I am here with another WIFLE partner, Fit for Duty Clothier. Can you tell me a little bit about what the company is?
Good morning. I'm Grace, and I started my law enforcement career as a uniformed police officer, and then I became a federal agent. And so throughout my whole career, I found it difficult to find business suits that were functional for women and useful. I could be fashionable, but it wasn't very useful for work. And so Fit for Duty Clothier was created. And I wanted to bring business suits for the female law enforcement professional so they can have their best fit and do their job in comfort and in style.
That's so important, especially as women move into these special agent roles, the executive roles. Having clothing that really is functional for their work is just absolutely critical. Now, you saw a need in the market and you created the company. What was some of that kind of the origin story like for you in really getting this off the ground running?
So I am now retired, and so after 24 years in law enforcement, it's still a problem. And so I thought it's time now. It's time to bring it to the market and to give female law enforcement officers quality suits that can be functional and they can be fashionable as well. And so that's how Fit for Duty was created. It's been a long time coming. The pandemic kept us back for a couple of years, but we're now ready to bring our product to the female law enforcement officer.
That's great. Now tell me a little bit more about this product and how you really make business attire functional.
I'll take a look over here.
Yeah, let's go.
So our suits, they're all in a bi-stretch material. So it's comfortable and it's it gives you good movement. And then we have like real functional buttons. So I found men's suits often had all the bells and whistles in a suit. Women's suits didn't often have interior pockets. So we have full-size pockets on both sides here and actually functional front pockets as well, because oftentimes you find just like a little fake pocket, or you can put only about your knuckle length in here. And so all the suits are designed with the law enforcement officer in mind. So when she's wearing gear on her waist, it is sized to accommodate it. And so this particular suit does that. We have a nice little waist detail here just to make it an overall feminine, nice look. And so we offer different style jackets, and we also have one of our features here is this. It's a hidden zipper, and so you can wear it nice and tailored, or if you start to need room on your waist, you can also open it up, and it gives a little bit more room for your equipment, but it also keeps it a nice, flattering, feminine figure. We also offer pants, and oftentimes women pants don't, oh, that's a skirt. We offer a skirt. So we have double belt loops. They are reinforced to support your belt and your equipment. And there are 2 belt loops. We have a smaller one for the dressier belts that are often skinnier than most standard belts. And then we have a wider belt loop. And then we have also, because, the law enforcement female is active, we have a functional pocket, and then as well back here, a closed vent that gives movement. So you aren't, even though it has a nice pegged form, you have movement in the skirt. So now onto the pants. And the pants have functional front pockets and rear pockets. Oftentimes you don't find real pockets on women's pants. And so it offers the same double belt loops and a reinforced waistband, and also a silicone gripping to keep the shirts and blouse in place. So we wanted to be a one-stop shop, so we are offering a shirt as well. So you can come to Fit for Duty Clothier and then buy a whole suit and be ready for work. And so the features on this shirt is we have a dart to help with the form. Oftentimes law enforcement officers have to wear a vest underneath, and so this actually gives more form for the figure. But most importantly is minding that gap. So we actually have strategically put the buttons in location where we can keep that gap that likes to pop up open and keep it nice and secure, and we have this nice placket for a clean look.
Wow, this is great. I love how everything, all of the really functional pieces, they're not, screaming at you. They're very subtle. It still has a very nice, feminine, sleek look. The material is incredibly comfortable. Thank you so much for showing me these products. This is incredibly important for women in law enforcement. And it's, like you said, a long time coming. And we're really glad that you're able to be in this market. And we look forward to learning more about your products.
Thanks so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Of course. And thank you for your long career in law enforcement as well. This is Fit for Duty Clothier, and you can learn more about them. Do you have a website?
We do. It's fitfordutyclothier.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, we are here with the Federal Bureau of Investigations talking about their job opportunities. To start, can you tell us a little bit about the agency?
Absolutely. So the FBI has been around for about 114 years. We have been an agency that has led the way and paved the way for all other agencies to follow. We have made some pretty big strides in the way that we do any of our work, and we make sure that we are working towards diversifying those ranks so that we actually can protect the communities that we serve.
That's really incredible. You're right, one of the longest existing federal law enforcement agencies. What are some of the things that you would say make working at the FBI unique?
Well, we have over 800 different job series, and so even if being an agent is not for you, there's a space for everyone in all spaces to be able to actually do what we do to complete our mission daily, and I think that's what makes us most unique, and also every day will never look the same.
That's really great and so incredible that so many different people can work at the FBI in a variety of different roles. For people who may be interested in that special agent position, can you tell me about some of the fitness and eligibility requirements?
Yes, we have a physical fitness test. It includes sit-ups, push-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and a 1.5-mile run. It is a gendered score, and you have a minimum that you have to get in order to get into the academy and to remain at the academy.
Wow, thank you. That's very interesting. And for someone who becomes a special agent, what is the training process like?
Right now it's a 16-week process, and as she mentioned, we work a lot of different offenses, and it covers training in all of those different offenses, as well as tactical training, firearms training, and every aspect of what an agent might encounter in the field.
That's very interesting. Thank you guys so much for telling me a little bit more about the FBI and what it's like to be a special agent. Welcome back. I am here with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, going to learn a little bit more about this agency. Can we start off with just telling me a little bit about the Postal Inspection Service?
Hi, well, we're very proud of being the oldest agency or federal law enforcement agency in the United States. We're very diverse. We have a lot of women in the force, and we're very proud of that. We investigate any crimes that is associated to the Postal Service, and you can see us wearing suits in one day, and you can see us wearing tactical clothes in other days. So we do every range of things that you can imagine. It's very, very interesting when you're a postal inspector. You don't know what the day is going to bring.
Oh, that's really interesting. What are some of the things that you guys would say make working at the Postal Inspection Service unique?
I would say one thing that's great is that, like she said, we're a very diverse group of inspectors, and we have a very large jurisdiction. So anything that touches the mail, we can investigate. So we have like mail fraud cases, mail theft cases, dangerous mail investigations, child exploitation, drugs in the mail. So we really get to work a lot of things throughout our career, and so there's a little bit of something for everybody, which is really nice.
And you also have both postal inspectors and the U.S. Postal Police. Can you tell me about what are some of the skills or qualities that would make someone a good fit for either role?
For the Postal Police, it would be someone that already works for the post office, a letter carrier, a mail handler. They make the best candidate because they know about all of the areas of mail. And that is something that we deal with on a regular basis with mail theft, with employee theft, with all of that. And then as far as for the academy, it would be the same as for the postal inspector, which she's going to be telling you about.
So for postal inspectors, it's very important to be a really great communicator, highly organized. Our agency is really big on integrity, so having integrity is very, very important.
The requirements, you need to be less than 36 years of age. You need to have a 4-year degree, bachelor's, anything. Actually, we're looking for anything, but criminal justice is preferred, something that we're looking for. What else? No criminal history. Pass, yeah. That's it.
And the academy.
Yeah, it's a 16 weeks, I think, academy.
Thank you so much. We're here at the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. It was great to meet all of you and learn more about these job opportunities.
Thank you.
Next up, I am here with the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, sometimes called the Pentagon Police, I believe. Can you guys tell me a little bit about your agency?
Yes, ma'am. Pentagon Force Protection Agency mission is basically protecting those who protect the nation, i.e. the military branches, Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, and all that good stuff.
Thank you. And what would you say makes your law enforcement agency unique?
What makes our law enforcement agency unique is it's only one Pentagon, so.
Got it. So focused on the Pentagon. That's really interesting compared to agencies who have like really broad jurisdiction. Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell me about some of the eligibility or qualification requirements for being a part of Pentagon Police?
Right now, if you have a bachelor's either in criminal justice, any type of security training or security experience, military experience, and obviously prior law enforcement would also qualify for.
Great, thank you so much. And I also wanted to ask you guys about opportunities for career growth for someone who is maybe already working at Pentagon Police.
So our agency do provide multiple leadership development courses. Also, they also allow opportunities like this for our officers to come to WIFLE, Noble, and other conferences that promote leadership development.
It's great. Leadership development is such a critical component of any law enforcement agency. For those who are interested in learning more about job opportunities, what kind of initiatives do you have focused on students, veterans, or other groups?
Currently, we also are attending a lot of the local universities. We do offer tuition assistance for those who want to continue their education. And also, we have the Veterans Requirement Assistance for all our veterans, which does not require an announcement to be out, to be open at the time for them to apply.
Well, that's great. Make sure any veterans listening know that there doesn't have to be an open position in order to apply. That's very interesting. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciated learning more about Pentagon Police. Welcome back. I am here with ATF. Can you guys tell me a little bit about ATF?
Yeah, so we're here representing the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. We also deal with explosives as well. We protect the public from violent crime involving firearms and explosives. So we also have a regulatory body that regulates the firearms and explosives industry and the criminal side of things. So that's what we're all about.
That's great that you hit both the criminal and the regulatory side. That's very interesting and unique. Can you tell me about some of the different career options available at ATF?
Yeah, so primarily we recruit for the 4 mission-critical occupations with ATF. ATF Special Agents, which most people have heard of, our Industry Operations Investigators, which are primarily in the field conducting regulatory inspections of firearms licensees and explosives licensees. Our Investigative Research Specialists, which do more intel, our Intelligence Research Specialists that do intel-based investigations, and then our attorneys.
It's very interesting. Thank you. And what types of outreach do you guys do or programs are available for students who may be interested in working at ATF?
So we've got roughly about 25 ATF field divisions and field offices nationwide. So we'll usually partner with different universities and have bring on volunteer student interns. Once the intern is onboarded and do their background check, we'll usually try to have them tasked with different groups so they'll get a different taste of what ATF does, what the different groups do. So they may be tasked with a firearms trafficking group on the criminal enforcement side for a few months, and then they may be tasked with the industry operations side to do more regulatory type of work.
And for individuals who are already at ATF Special Agents, what type of continuing education do you offer?
Yeah, great question. So for those of us who are already, part of the agency, we are allowed to go to advanced training courses, whether that be advanced firearms or advanced explosives. We also have an arson program, and then some of our agents like to be involved with the SRT, which is the Special Response Team, which is a great opportunity for them to travel a little bit more and be a part of that. So we always have advanced trainings for, upward growth for our people.
A lot of opportunities at ATF, whether you are a student just trying to get involved or a special agent just trying to advance your career. Thank you so much for joining us today and participating in our career fair.
Thank you so much.
We are back with another WIFLE sponsor, the Arbinger Institute. Can you tell me a little bit about Arbinger and the work that you do?
Sure. So Arbinger is an international consulting company, and we help change the way that leaders lead and culture through the lens of mindset, the fundamental way that we see people as objects or people as people who matter to us. And it's really incredible how we can change that. So many trainings out there are behaviorally based, which they can be great trainings, but so often if we're just going in with a list of do's and don'ts, nothing ever really changes. But if we come at it from the lens of mindset drives all behaviors. And so changing mindset can create real change and transformation in organizations.
Thank you so much. That's fascinating. And can you tell me a little bit about why you're here today supporting WIFLE?
Yeah, well, first of all, WIFLE's an incredible organization, so it's an honor to be a part of this, supporting women especially. And we're just excited to help bring content that can help women through leadership positions, particularly in male-dominated spaces, and how we can be supportive that way. how our content and material can help support them as they take on more of those leadership roles that we want women in, which is really exciting.
And tell me a little bit more about that content and material. For people who may be interested, how can they access some of these resources and some of the workshops that you guys host?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things. We have our international best-selling trade books that you can. You're zeroing in there. We're giving these away for free, and certainly if anybody would like a copy, they can reach out to me. We also have a sample course that we're giving away for free, right here. Although if they want to email me, I'd be more than happy to connect them. My email is sspencer@arbinger.com. But we're giving away trade books. We're giving away access to our online material that includes videos and tools to help leaders create the kind of change that they're looking for.
That's really incredible. Leadership and leadership development has been such an incredible theme of this conference. Thank you so much for joining us and for providing these resources.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we are back with another WIFLE supporter, Federalism. I am here with the founder. Can you tell me a little bit about the organization?
Sure. My name is Becky Brown, and I'm the founder of Federalisms. It is my greeting card and gift company for federal employees. I am a federal employee and have been for nearly 19 years, and I'm always the one that gets the greeting card for the team. And I just felt that our particular environment was underserved in the greeting card and gift realm. So after a particularly funny event in a meeting one day, I had an idea for a card, and by the time I left that meeting, I had 40 ideas for cards, and I thought of the name Federalisms, which was available on the internets, and I started with greeting cards, and I have nearly 80 greeting cards now. They are pretty specific to federal employees, and I also have specific cards for law enforcement officers as well. And they're meant for our colleagues who we have work in common with, but who we care about, and who your typical greeting card at CVS or paper source doesn't really account for. And then during the pandemic, people started wanting more stuff for themselves because we weren't dropping cards on our neighbors' desks anymore because we weren't at work. So I expanded to stickers. And this is the number one seller at this WIFLE conference because our ladies are working overtime. And so these are the stickers. And then I also have a coloring and activity book. And I'm launching these magnet poetry sets here at this conference. And also these departure boards that you can pass around for the team for people to sign as they're leaving, or just hang them on your wall.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it all started with an idea, and then you created this company. Being an active Fed, that couldn't have been easy. How did you kind of get this really up and going in the last few years?
Yeah, so I have an alternative work schedule, which is a great federal benefit, and so I do have every other Friday for my own creative pursuits, and it was just a really good way to channel my creative energy at work. That didn't go into I'm an attorney that didn't go into advising clients, and to supporting our colleagues in the workplace. Morale in the office is very important to me and is always utmost on my mind. It's of utmost importance. So it's an important thing to me that it's a noble hobby.
You know, that's so great because we always hear that when the morale is good, the work is good. And so these things really go hand in hand. And it's awesome that you really had the schedule that allowed you to pursue those creative pursuits.
It really is, yeah.
How can people learn more about federalism if they're interested?
Sure, federalisms.com if you want to zoom in on all the social media. I have a pretty active Instagram. I would say that Twitter is less active. But yeah, federalisms.com is where you can buy all the items, and there's a blog on there too where I write articles every now and then. And on the contact me, feel free to reach out if anyone needs anything.
That's great. Federalisms, it's an awesome company. You're not only giving someone a personal gift that relates to their job, but you're supporting another Fed. So definitely check out Federalisms.
Thanks so much.
Perfect. Hello, we are here with our final federal agency of the day, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Can you tell me a little bit about the agency?
Sure. My name is Special Agent Kay Ean. I'm the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer for the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. So the Naval Criminal Investigative Service is a federal law enforcement agency that is uniquely tasked to support and our warfighters within the Department of the Navy. So, go ahead.
Oh, wow. And what would you say working at NCIS makes it unique?
So with NCIS, we are tasked to prevent crimes, to protect secrets, and to protect our warfighters through force protection. So our mission is very broad. We are in multiple places around the world conducting these investigations on behalf of the Department of the Navy.
And what are some of the different law enforcement positions available at NCIS?
Sure. So NCIS has about 47 different job series that comprises of our organization. We are about 2,000 employees. About 50% of those employees are special agents, so the 1811s. And then we also have other job categories such as intelligence specialists. We have cyber. We have technology specialists as well. And then administrative and professional support staff. And they all come together to support our mission.
Wow, that's a really interesting range of employees that, can work at NCIS. Can you tell me a little bit about where NCIS employees work?
Sure. NCIS is located in 190 different locations around the world in 40 different countries. And we are the only federal law enforcement organization that actually serves aboard U.S. naval aircraft carriers as special agents afloat.
Wow, that's so interesting. If you're interested in a career at NCIS, be sure to check out their careers website. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome back. We are finishing up an incredibly fun, long, and successful week here at the Women in Federal Law Enforcement 22nd Annual Leadership Training Conference. And I'm here sitting down with one of FedAgent's longest and closest sponsors. We're here with Feds Protection, Professional Liability Insurance. Brenda, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you. Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
Every year at WIFLE, Feds and FedAgent partner up. We sit here, we talk to all of the wonderful attendees about not only FedAgent and what we do here at Shaw Bransford and Roth, a federal employment law firm, but also Feds Protection and the value of professional liability insurance. Can you speak to really why this is something federal agents should consider?
Well, it's not even that they should consider it. They need to have it. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they may have considered it. But at this point, the question isn't if you'll need it, it's when you'll need it. So professional liability provides your legal representation when an allegation is made against you. With today's climate, special interest groups, 24-hour news cycles, politics the way they are, unfortunately, it is not something to be considered any longer. It's a necessity, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of people have been coming. They've been saying, oh, we know Feds. We know Feds. How is Feds really connected with the federal community since its origin?
The law enforcement community really, it's where we spend a lot of our time. We're at a lot of conferences. We're at a lot of agency meetings. We're at a lot of FLEOA events, WIFLE events, NABNA. There's a lot of law enforcement associations that we work with to make sure that federal agents and officers are knowledgeable so that they know their liability exposures. They truly understand what they are. They truly understand what the difference is between an agency attorney and their own attorney. So people, when they first become law enforcement officers, they meet agency attorneys and they think that they're there to protect them. What they don't realize is that the client to that agency attorney is the agency. So that agency attorney isn't there to defend them. They're there to defend the agency. What our insurance does is it protects that individual agent, and it provides them with the legal services that they need over the course of a career.
No, that's so important. You're right. There is that common misunderstanding about who really is the client, who they're there to protect. And that's why Feds is so important, because it makes sure the individual is covered. Now, you've been at WIFLE for many years. We've been doing this table together for a long time. Why WIFLE? Why WIFLE? You know, why do you view WIFLE as an important organization to support?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, it's a very tight-knit group. I mean, they stand behind each other. They support each other on a level that is just unmatched. If you've attended any of the panels, if you've attended any of the workshops, I mean, they're outstanding. Everyone gets involved in them. Everyone's talking about them long after they're over. Nobody is trying to be politically correct in any of those rooms. They are trying to look for solutions and ideas, and
They tell it like it is.
they really do. I mean, these women they're badasses, every single one of them, and they are in that classroom too. I mean, they're not afraid to speak the truth, and that is something that in this climate is very hard to do. So, but there's so many things about WIFLE. Everything that WIFLE offers, from their educational series to their support, to this leadership, to this training, everything that they offer is everything that every woman in the federal law enforcement community benefits from.
I couldn't agree more. It really just exemplifies why we have been working with WIFLES for so many years, why we support the organization so much. This has just been an incredible conference. I've enjoyed so much getting to spend time with you again, Brenda. Be sure to check out the Fed's Spotlight column in our Fed Agent newsletter. This has been an incredible conference. It was great to be able to deliver all of you at home with some of the news from our federal agencies, WIFLE's incredible sponsors and partners. Thank you so much for joining me for the virtual career fair. We'll see you next year.
I'm the first in law enforcement in my family. I always get the surprise look from people when they say, "Oh, you're a U.S. Marshal." I didn't expect you to be a deputy U.S. Marshal, so I would always say, well, what are they supposed to look like, When I went to college, my first year, I actually was a psychology major, and I decided, I don't think that's something that I want to continue with. So I changed my major to criminal justice, and I wanted to focus on law enforcement. I just wanted to do something where I can be out, just talking to people and just sharing my experiences. So I was fortunate enough to have mentors throughout my college career, and I got to talk to them about, their thoughts and interests within law enforcement, and it kind of opened my eyes to see something differently. I think it takes a special person to be in law enforcement, whether it's male or female, but specifically for females, it is a male-dominated field, and you have to be mentally prepared to work in that type of environment. You also being in law enforcement, it's gonna make you grow up fast, especially coming straight from college into a profession, because I came in at 22 years old and I knew I had to grow up real fast. Looking back, reality didn't really sink in yet. Just leaving with this badge and gun, I knew I was the Deputy U.S. Marshal, but did I really know what that meant? I don't think I really knew at that moment what that actually meant. I would tell that 22-year-old girl, there will be challenges, but you gotta push through it. You have to be physically tough, and you have to be mentally tough.
From the time I first met you to now, totally different person.
I believe that I make a difference. One of my goals has always been is to inspire others, whether it's just teaching someone or just imparting wisdom about life on someone. That's something that I do every day. I took an oath to protect my country and my community, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Hi. So, what brought me to HHSOIG? I would say I've always wanted to be a federal agent, and my college career just landed me at HHS OIG, and as it turns out, I love working here. I've been here for almost 21 years, and in my experience, it's been a great place to work. Um, I would say the two things that are really the best things for me right now is the flexibility that the agency gives us, not only as agents, but I'd say all employees. They give us the flexibility not just to do the work the way that we need to do the work, but also it gives us flexibility to have a good work-life balance, which for me is key because I'm a mother of two really busy boys, and it would otherwise be very difficult to both do this job as a federal agent and also to be a mom. So I appreciate it. And HHS really means its commitment to the work-life balance. It was well in place before the pandemic happened in terms of our ability to work from home, have flexibility to do our jobs and work our cases the way we need to work them. Management is supportive for all of those things, not just my first line supervisor, but also our management all the way to the top. The other great thing about HHS in my experience is the types of cases that we work. We are primarily focused on healthcare fraud with Medicare and Medicaid, but I will say that there is such a variety in the type of cases among healthcare that I don't think in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I don't think I've had two cases that are the same. The other thing that's great is not only do we do healthcare, but we touch on every program that HHS is involved in. That can include grants, that can include other assistance programs, and it also leads us to work with a bunch of other agencies. I love meeting new people, seeing the work that they're doing too. If any of this sounds like something that is appealing to you, then I highly recommend HHS OIG.
Hi, I'm Jason Suffredini, the Deputy Assistant Inspector General for Investigations at the U.S. General Services Administration, Office of Inspector General. GSA OIG's Office of Investigations is a statutory federal law enforcement organization with an important mission and a government-wide impact. We investigate major fraud, corruption, and theft, substandard and counterfeit parts and products, significant employee misconduct, and cybercrimes involving GSA IT systems. Our outstanding team of special agents, analysts, and professional staff are located in Washington, D.C., and in 14 field offices across the United States. Our agents have full statutory law enforcement authority, and we have a robust assortment of technical investigative equipment and other resources available to us. GSA OIG is a great place to work, but don't take my word for it. Listen to what some of our great people have to say.
Hi, my name is April Smith. I'm an assistant special agent in charge under the Midwest Division. I've been a special agent since 2003, and I transferred to GSA OIG in 2009. GSA OIG has allowed me the opportunity to work several different types of investigations and travel all over the U.S. to further advance my cases. I've worked several high-profile criminal, civil, and administrative cases, resulting in recovering over $65 million back to the government. I like that GSA OIG is a smaller agency and I'm not just a number. I've developed great relationships with both agents and supervisors and can rely on them to assist in interviews, search warrants, or offer a different perspective on an investigation that I'm working. I've been able to take several advanced training and leadership courses, and in 2018, I became a certified fraud examiner and was promoted in 2019. GSA OIG has offered me and allowed me the opportunity to grow as an agent and now as a supervisor.
Hi, my name is Emily MacDougall. I'm a criminal investigative analyst within GSA OIG's investigations component. I have been at GSA OIG for my entire career, and the reason I have stayed is the variety, both of people and the work. There is an assortment of backgrounds and something to learn from everyone, which is great, but what really makes it enjoyable is that everyone is willing to share their expertise. Additionally, the diversity parallels the work. I learned about a new system, type of investigation, data analytics model, what seems like every day. Every day is different, and I really love that.
I'm proud to be a part of an organization where our senior leaders work remarkably hard to cultivate an inclusive community. Every single person is encouraged to bring their very best to the table and be heard. I also enjoy collaborating with my amazingly talented coworkers on investigations and projects that fosters career growth and empowers them to take pride in their work. We also have fantastic benefits that include a flexible work-life balance program, as well as technical, professional, and leadership development training opportunities.
For more information about GSA OIG, go to gsaig.gov.